understating the thing. At the time, I can only describe it as a feeling like a big gaping hole in my gut suddenly being filled. Truthfully, people and things moved in and out of that dark abyss all the time, yet somehow I always thought the latest one, the current one, would be my permanent salvation. Suki stepped up to bat. It was funny how everything about him changed in that moment. I don't mean funny as in strange. I mean literally comical. He stood at home plate with his rear end too far out, his upper body bent too much over the plate, the bat cocked at a ridiculous angle, almost as though he were purposely choosing to lampoon the concept of a batter. A pitch whizzed across the plate. Suki simultaneously leaned back to get out of its way and swung wildly. He missed by the proverbial mile. I heard a bit of rude chuckling from some boys behind me, but I never turned to look. Another pitch. Another big miss. In between the second and third pitches, Suki stood up straight. He brushed his hair away from his eyes, as though that had been the only problem. But his hair wasn't that long. Then he took his wild stance again and stared the pitcher down. The wind-up. The throw. The ball came whistling across the plate. Suki swung and missed it by a mile. By this time, the chuckles had morphed into full-on laughter. I felt my face go hot and red, thinking how embarrassed he must be, how embarrassed I was about to be in just a few minutes over my own batting. But I swear it was less about my own baseball shortcomings and more about his. I was trying to feel his embarrassment for him. I did that in those days. As it turned out, I was the only one feeling his discomfort. His face still looked perfectly relaxed. He looked up at Coach, who was standing vaguely at a 45-degree angle to first base. To my surprise, Suki burst into a grin. "See?" he called to Coach. "Told you I was no good at it." Then he dropped the bat and walked away. Me, I dropped the idea of tryouts for my father's sake and ran after him. "Hey," I said when I had almost caught up. He cocked his head in my direction but didn't stop walking. He might have slowed a step. "Yeah?" "If you don't mind my asking?" On that note, he stopped. We stood mostly facing each other and looking down at the ground. Well, I was looking at the ground. Now that I think about it, I have no idea where he was looking. "Yeah?" "Why did you try out if you knew you can't play?" "My dad wanted me to." "Oh," I said. We started walking again, side by side, slower. I had no idea where we were going. But in that moment, I'd have followed that boy through the gates of hell without ever wondering why. "That's interesting," I added. "Why is it interesting?" He had no accent at all. I figured he had been born here. Most of the Chinese and Japanese boys at my school had been born here. Now, looking back, it seemed wrong that I was expecting an accent, but I was only just learning my way around at the time. "Oh, because that's why I was trying out too. My dad made me." I wondered if that was a notable coincidence between us, or if all fathers forced baseball on their sons. He stopped again and looked at my face, and I looked away in shame. Why shame? I don't know. It was just my 14-year-old default. "Shouldn't you go back and try out then?" he asked. "Nah, I'll just tell my dad I did." We walked again. We were heading vaguely in the direction of the main school building, but at an angle toward the playground in the back. For a full minute or so, neither of us said a word. "Stephen," I said, this short version of introducing myself. "Itsuki." "Oh," I said, which was an intensely stupid thing to say. It was a hint that I found the name potentially tricky, though now I don't know why.